Hey, folks, good evening. Glad to be here this evening. Thank you for joining us. Certainly appreciate you. And tonight, the session that we want to do, it's a very important session. And keep in mind that we're not blind to some of the challenge that we're facing. Let me just stop my screen share for one moment here. Let me just fix the screen here a bit better. Okay. Yeah. So we're not blind to the fact that, we know that there's been a product shortage. I know Tammy just posted in a message there that in Canada, Celgivity are being delivered as we speak. So pick up your orders, place your orders. Um, oops. And one thing that is also interesting is Tammy and I had another conversation with Chris and Jonathan, and things are progressing very, very, very nicely. And Tammy and I have always been the type of people that we like to prepare. You know the expression where start swimming before the wave catches up with you, right? Imagine you're in the beach and you're a little bit, offshore and you're swimming and you're trying to swim to shore and you want to catch the wave to get to shore faster. So you get the water to kind of do the work for you. If you understand my meaning, is in other words, start swimming before the wave is above your head. This is exactly what we're doing here, Tammy and I, and it has served us well. It's not our first rodeo in his business, and there's always been ups and downs, and ups and downs. It's just part of the curve. It's part of the nature of things in business, especially today. And very interesting when you go back into the 1920s and the 1940s and all these eras, they all have challenges that we're facing right now. So it's all about an opportunity to adjust. And the fact here is when there is some handicap and situation that occurs that are causing some delays and so forth, you don't want to get handicapped with this and says, well, let me start when things gets better. That's what everybody does. But the people that win the race, that always ahead, that makes the money, that's always leading, tends to be the people that are late, that are paving the wave, instead of my meaning. So, and that's the reason why we're starting to do these trainings in line to building your teams and building your business. And a lot of the information we're going to share with you, it's not foreign to you. You've heard it before, especially if you've been around the Eric Worre or I don't know why I got a blank here. Other speakers that have been sharing the concept of building a network marketing team, you will find that all this information is quite relevant. But it's important to have a refresher and also having a perspective on the sequence of what a role of a sponsor is. So back to you, Tammy. While you're doing this, I will go ahead and start sharing the screen.
Yeah, it's about staying plugged in. I mean, you guys are staying plugged in every single week, getting the messages that are going on. And like Chris said, behind the scene, we're building rapport. We're finding out, for example, there's no Celgivity in the US. We all just recently got our orders. And so I reached out to Jonathan and asked them, when is the next order coming in? And they said 1 week, maximum 2. So we keep growing, we keep building. And yeah, I mean, like Chris said, we've all been through some tough times, and the fact that we're all still standing, we're doing okay. And it's just a matter of getting back out there. And honestly, if you've lost the people that are already in, I mean, that's part of the business too. And just move on, go get new connections, because many people don't know about what we have in our hands. I recommend to do a test. Go out and randomly talk to 10 people, just randomly. Hey, have you ever heard of the word Celgivity before? Have you ever heard of Celgivity? Just randomly do that, and you'll get an idea of people don't know what it is. And that also will strike up a conversation, right? You could be in a bank, you could be in a coffee shop, you could be anywhere, you could be online, right? So I know recently I've been reconnecting with people on Facebook, just messaging and leaving voice messages. And funny thing was, Jazz, I was on this expat group that I had joined for Merida. And just chatting with the lady because she came back and she loved it there. And so we're going back and forth. And then I was looking at her page and I found a picture where I'm like, that's exactly where we live in Toronto. So I asked her, I said, well, where do you live? And she says, Toronto. And I'm from Toronto too. I said, your location looks familiar. And it turns out she's 2 buildings from me. So it was kind of cool. So we connected, and we can't wait to meet each other in person, but we continue the conversation. My goal is to get her on a Zoom session to get to know her more. I think she's doing real estate. That's what it looks like anyways, but you kind of have, I didn't get to that point, but my message right now is connect with people. You never know, when things like this happens, which is kind of cool, right? And so it's just a matter, and it gets you back in the game. It gets you excited talking to some new people. So just wanted to give you that feedback
And by
of,
the way, Jess, she is so
reconnecting.
kind. I had a bit of a dementia moment, as you know, I couldn't. And then privately, she turns around and says, "Fraser Brooks." And this is what I love. You guys are so awesome. You always look out for each other, and I do appreciate that. Yes, Fraser Brook was one of the. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I just have these season moment. These
I think it's
moments
the
where
end of the day,
I don't
full
know what
day
it is,
today.
but anyway. So, and in fact, back to the point of tonight is the role of a sponsor, and I think that it's important to go back to the basics. And we touched on that, I think, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago before Jonathan, on some of the principles in building with a core rank, and we'll touch that in a moment here. But the fact here is you're a beacon of hope, and this is what I see a sponsor is a leader. I mean, a sponsor is a leader. Um, Not everybody, wants to lead, but at the end of the day, your voice matters. And you need to understand that you may not realize, but you might be hope for someone else. And you want to lead by example. And that's what Tammy and I constantly try to do. There are moments, like, oh, God, I don't feel like it. Yeah, we all have these moments, but we will go ahead and we will do it anyway. Right. So lead by example. You want to empower and inspire people. This is really, really important. And we do our best. We're not perfect, but we do our best in doing this. We guide people. We guide the teams. We're trying to create an ecosystem of information. We don't hide. We openly share what we know, and we know that if we're transparent and we share what's going on, then you're in a better position to make better decisions. But I'm telling you, folks, that it's really looking good. I love the way Jonathan works, and I'm telling you, folks, that it's really going to do well in the near future. And I really do recommend that start reaching out to a lot of your associates, especially the ones that were committed using the products that are decided to stop until the product starts flowing again. Start reaching out to these guys. And I'm not saying we're fully engaged right now because we're still dealing, we're still in the forest and try to, kind of get out of it. But at the end of the day, things are moving along really, really, really nicely. But again, as a sponsor, you want to guide, you want to train, you want to recognize and reward. And by the way, I know, Sylvie, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. Am I correct? It is your birthday, right?
Yay!
25 years old.
I wish, but it was last Thursday.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay, wonderful. I know Granny in the Philippines, I just noticed it was also his birthday. It was probably yesterday. But anyway, the fact here is it's all about recognizing and reward, and recognizing that the small steps and the big steps that people do. And we really gonna up our game this year, because again, it's kind of hard to recognize when there's no products. But folks, it's really coming to an end. What I mean by coming to an end is a lack of products, and the strategy that Jonathan is using is absolutely phenomenal. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get back to working on some campaigns. As you know, we started the Switch campaign, and then there was I think some stuff going on in January. I forget what month it was, but I think we were missing about a month, and then it started to come again. So yeah, for those of you who have continued working towards the switch campaign. Kudos to you, because I know that PJ and Erica was showing us some pictures and phenomenal results. And yeah, so I know that you guys were also missing, I think, a little bit. I think you guys had some inventory. And so that always helps when we have inventory. But yeah, I'm back in the game, taking religiously and working out and eating, properly, because that's really what we all should be doing. And yeah, my guns are coming back, and things are starting to, my clothes are starting to get loose again. It's a lot of fun. It takes time. I find it takes time, and we need to be patient with the process. So yeah, we'll get back into these campaigns, but the goal is really when you get somebody started is to guide them, and not to do the work for them, but to guide them and show them how to do the work. Because at the end of the day, if you do things for people, then they don't spread their wings, they don't learn. So it's important that you move them forward step by step and be there when they have any questions. Don't chase them. Kind of have that guideline where you're always, I'm available. Reach out to me. You set some times to work together. And yeah, so the best part is as you start signing up people in the business, you're getting the fundamentals right here on what you need to do the moment somebody gets started in the business.
So in line with what Tammy was sharing is teach people how to fish instead of feeding them for a day. And what I mean by that is one of the biggest challenge, and I even see some very high ranked associate, they micromanage too much. They do too much. They baby too much. They mother too much. And this is a big problem because eventually what happens is, and I've mentioned very often, it's like a child that mom or dad are always there cleaning up after them and fixing for them. Or when they're grown up, guess what? They haven't developed their skills. Their wings haven't really developed properly. And this is what happens a lot in this business. And then you got associates that are constantly dependent for the rest of their lives. What have you done for me lately? It's your fault. You're not doing this good enough, and not realizing that there's a complacency that's occurring because they're so used to have everything done for them. So this is very important that you don't do the work. You show them how, you point them the right direction. Someone say, hey, what's the link to the meeting? I don't suggest that you go and send them the link. I suggest you tell them where to find the link, or connect to the team support site so you can receive the emails. And this is something I'm very, very strong about. I do not just feed. I provide them the information. They need to do the work. If they don't, they don't. If they quit, they quit. If they stop, they stop. Again, our goal is to create an empire of leadership and not babysitting constantly for the rest of your life, because it's very hard to make money and to build a fruitful, profitable business when you're constantly babysitting all the time. So again, you start right at conception, right at the start. Is you're there, especially the first 3 months. I mean, there's a lot of work you do with them. You show them where everything is. They may ask you where this is that. But the moment is say, can you send me this? Can you send me that file? Can you send me this PowerPoint? No. And I'm not saying that you don't send it to them. There's a way to approach it. Something like, well, what I recommend for you to do is go to this site. For example, go to Active Teams, select the documents, and go to Canada USA and go under presentations and download the PowerPoint. And if you come in any issues, let me know. And there will be some that will come back, and at least now they've done 80% of the work, and next time they probably won't need me again. And that's what I'm saying by teach people how to fish, opposed to feed them for a day, by always giving them the feedback, giving them the information, and do all the research.
Yeah, and that's when you can really see the serious ones in this business. You can really see the ones who really want to make this work. And you'll recognize this as you start signing people up, and you'll see it. You'll notice it. And assignments are always a good thing. And it moves people forward, encouraging them to try something. They do it. You congratulate them, and then you get them to move forward to the next thing. So yeah, and as always, to know your people, right? Anybody you personally sign up, you want to know what their real purpose is, what's important to them, why they're part of Max. I mean, we've all here that are on this live session, we know each other really well, even if we're not in, always in the same team. You guys do events together. You guys are on accountability sessions together. So you really got an understanding of each other. So you've got it. The moment you sign up that brand new person, that's what you go through with them and establishing that. So you know where to go when they have those moments where you don't hear from them for 2 weeks, you don't hear from them for a while. And then, going back to where they're at, maybe, especially when people are new in this business, they can get discouraged quite easily when they talk to a few people, or somebody said, they book a session and they don't show up. They said they would be there, they don't show up. Like, there's always going to be things like that. It's part of being in business. So what I tend to do is I'll get back to them. I'll leave a message and go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I missed you. I hope everything's okay." Right. And if you can leave a voice message, it's always better, because it really shows that you genuinely care and you're concerned about their well-being. And then I get messages back, "Oh my gosh, I forgot. I am so sorry." And I said, "No problem. Let's set up another session." So these are things that you want to be doing with people. So you're constantly building rapport with your associates, so that you can help them and guide them on the things that you do that's working, and just to cheer them up, because when people are new, they need that at the beginning. And when people have been around quite a while, we need to go back to the basics. And that's something that Chris and I do often. We sit back and going, "Okay, so what are we going to share on Monday night?" Again, kind of thing. And it's like, you know what? Things are happening now. Everything's moving now. New exciting stuff. Products are here. Let's go back to the basics. Go back to the simple basics.
And it's
And I'm
exactly
telling you,
what
when
we're
you
doing.
get back to the people that you've signed up, you're gonna recognize some of these things that we're sharing with you today. Use it. Use it when you reconnect with them, even if it's about the product.
So, folks, when you see 1, 2, 3, 4 here, the purpose, the why, the goal, and the actions, some folks are saying, how did you guys been able to create such a strong organization around the world and even domestically and everything? How have been, well, these 4 elements there on Know Your Associate is absolutely critical. Very, very important. And here's another one that's really important. And PJ, I look forward to see those next pictures. I know that the entire family are training, so I love your posts. So
Fantastic.
the fact is that you want to create target goals. It could be family target goals. It could be personal target goals, but that's really, really important. So as you get to know your leaders and you get to know your team leader, understand what do they want out of this, because you can keep them grounded when things get challenges, like, "Oh, we ran out of products." Well, if your dream is bigger than the problem, we're waiting to, kind of deal with the challenges, and we can cope with the challenges better. But if there's no communication ever, then it becomes difficult, and it's easier for them to detach and walk away. So the fact here is, understand what their target goals is and be clear. Make sure they're clear on the target goal, on what they want to achieve. Not everybody wants to be, make lots and lots of money. A lot of people, they just want to get their products for free. Some would like to make in a street $3 to $4 to $5,000, $500 to $1,000 a month, right? So at the end of the day, you don't want to overwhelm people with your goals, but find out what their goals are, and just create a game plan. And that's what the rest of the really part of this training is all about, is what's the game plan to help them reach their goals. Anything else we're going to add, Tammy, to this before I shift light?
Yeah, the game plan is always helping people get to the core rank, and what are the basic steps to getting to the core rank, and that's all on the boards. That's part of getting people started right, is to understand how much they want to make, in what time frame do they want to make it, and because some people want it quicker than others, right? There's times where you might have a lot going on in your world, and you bring somebody in and they're just road runners. That's happened. I've seen it over and over and over again, right? So give them the tools, and just let them run, even if you don't have all the time to support them. Even get them to even connect with the sponsors, right? Because often the sponsor is or somebody that's building this full time. Because if you can't give somebody a lot of attention and help them and guide them in the process as they're running, you want them plugged in to something that they can actually run. Okay, so that's really, really important. Chris talked about the importance of the events, right? Plug them in, plug them in, plug them in. We keep saying that. We've been saying this for so long. You got to be plugged in. If you're not plugged in, you lose energy, you lose the fire, you lose all of that inside. And so it's important to plug in even when it's challenging times. So there's everything available. There's a training platform. There's a new associate orientation. How do people get started right? I don't know how long ago you looked at it, but recently I'm looking through this stuff again, right? To get myself familiar again, because I obviously the cycle wasn't going so fast in my speed in my whatever, riding a bike, but the success cycle, going back to the fundamentals, going back to the basics, keeping things simple. I recently got a new lady started, and helping her get started right. Got to know, her purpose in life. What does she want to achieve? Got to know why she wanted to try the products. A lot of it's about credibility of the person who introduced her. And the other thing is her goals. I wanted to know what her goals are, because I want to know how fast we need to do this together. I wanted to know what my part is in supporting this person. And so, yeah, so that's basically it. She's aware of everything that's going on. Timing's not good for her to get on any of this stuff right now. She's creating her own website. She wants to create a link, like all kinds of stuff that she has goals on bringing these products into her social environment. So she's
So
not ready to
what,
run yet. And that's okay, because it happens, right?
yeah, so what I put there in the comment section, folks, is the board. And if you haven't been on the board for more than 2 months, here's a call to action. And as a homework, click on that link, and or make a copy of it so you can do it over your phone. So you can actually install the app on your phone if you have not done so already. And here's something that will be really, really helpful. As you know, we're in changing times, things gets updated. If you happen to be coming across anything that is out of date, please do let me know, and I will handle it immediately. That would be really, really helpful, because it's kind of hard for me to constantly go through every single links and check everything all the time. So if you do happen to come across something that's outdated, let me know and we'll fix that. But I would really encourage for you, as homework here, is click on the link from your phone. So make a copy of it, save it somewhere so you can have it on your phone later on, and make sure that you install the app if you have not done so already. And even practice sending a link to someone else if it comes to a video or training or whatever that is. Okay. So that's something that's really, really important. The Success Cycle series, we still do them. Pretty much what's in these files are pretty much exactly, I mean, these are constants. Gravity doesn't change, even if it's 4 billion years. Gravity is gravity. It's just it's a constant. So the fact here is I highly recommend that you use these constants and reapply them. Like Tammy said earlier, we're going back to the basics. We are getting ready to run. Today I had a call with Dr. Tony. It's a guy that I came across. It was about a week ago. I did a post ad, and I did an ad on one of my active team page, and I just boosted the ad, and that's the lead that responded, and he's connecting me with his audience of doctors. Who knows how that's going to go or where it's going to go, but it looks promising. And there's other situations that are presenting itself, and it's a little budget of $25. I just posted $25. Select, if you're Canadian, obviously, select the Canadian currency. If you're American, then select the US currency, whatever that is. And go ahead and just and one thing I do recommend is I recommend to select Facebook Messenger for them to message you. It's a lot of fun that way, because then you can connect with them, you can share more information. So this is something I would highly recommend, is not put a phone number or send them to a website, because you don't know really what you're going to do from there. But a messenger, you can actually put a link as an automatic response. The moment they click a message, right away, the app will actually send them a message where you can have a link to your site, for example, or even your affiliate link or whatever that is. Okay, so just again, food for thought, as you're deciding to boost your ads. So, but one thing that's very important in the process is, as you build the relationship, folks, what's going on is you're building trust, and you're building on the integrity. And remember, folks, that it takes forever to build trust, and it takes a second to lose it. We all know that. So be very mindful of what you say, and the commitment of what you say you're going to do. This is really important. Even if it's just a phone call, even if it's 5 minutes late, for me, it's unacceptable. If you're in business and you set an appointment and you're 5 minutes late and it was expecting you at a certain time, that's not good for business. So these are all things that will impact your credibility and the trust they have in your ability to lead them in this kind of business. I know it's 5 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but it represents the kind of person you're dealing with. So this is something I highly recommend. But every time you're talking to someone, it's always an opportunity to build on that trust. And I'm telling you, many of you have brought in people into your business. And I know you're all out there, and you might be recruiting through or prospecting through all of the search engine and everything else, the social media and everything. But don't forget your existing audience. Even if you think that they don't want to hear from you, be careful with that, because you might be putting roadblocks that are actually not there. And they might be very happy to hear from you. And they might be missing the Celgivity or whatever product they were on. And now that it's going to start flowing nicely again. I'm not saying that it's all fixed, but we're going towards that direction. I would start connecting with people like that and reactivate people. Just that alone will increase your CV month per month as you start reactivating your members. So don't be afraid or intimidated by that. Call your people. Highly recommended. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, because people's circumstances change all the time.
Yeah.
In conversations, which I've had quite a few with existing people or people that have gone off auto ship, and just reconnecting with them, and they went off auto ship because of the issues that were going on. And often I'm able to move them to try something else. I say, you know what, just try this for a month and see what the difference is going to be. You're so used to being on this one. And I tell them, some of the benefits, because Chris and I, we use all the products. So we know what each one of them does. And so it's easy to be able to guide somebody. It was interesting because I'm not taking the Enfuse as much as I take the ATP. I cannot go without ATP, but the Enfuse, I haven't taken it consistently. And I contacted an existing associate. She's been a Max partner for, oh my gosh, so many years. Barbara Ann, you might remember her, Marilyn Stevens. we're going way back doing those in-homes at Wayne and Karen Cornell's. But anyways, long story short, we got talking and she says, you know what? She says, my husband and I, we decided to try the Enfuse. And she was telling me their story around the Enfuse. I was so excited. I went and got back on the stuff. So it's fun because, you know, you don't realize what you're missing until somebody tells you a story. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get back on that stuff. So that's what we need to do, is to get back out there and passionately share, you know, the results that we're getting with the products. And you know what your customers are consuming. You should know what your existing partners are consuming. And if you don't know, you just go in. You go in and you check your existing partners, click on, you can see their orders, right? So you're able to see all of this to know where you're going in conversation with the people that are in your teams, or I mean your personal line of sponsorship, which is important. And so as Chris is putting this up here, I'm on the boards right now looking at that on the first step. So when you go to boards, I don't know if this is a refresher for you in the moment right now, but when you go to the English, obviously the first one you're seeing is onboarding. So if you're following the process with me, you see the first steps and the first information. If you haven't gone through this with somebody who has signed up, but you know, with everything going on the last few years, you can actually go back to them and just say, we got a new system in place and I'd love to walk you through it. Even though it's been there, you can send them the congratulations. You can, you know, just to kind of build rapport and engage again with the people, and go through this in the first information. The girl that I recently had a session with, she's gone through all of this. I went through all of it with her. So she knows exactly where everything is and what to do. And so we've got the max action plan. So that's the simple steps. There's actually 4 steps, because number 5 is to duplicate, right? So if you can get, number 1 is easy. It's to be active. Consume products in your household. Super, super, super simple. As a senior associate, 1 left, 1 right. People who are consuming a couple products in their household. What's that, Chris?
Consuming 100 CV each.
Correct. I was just saying that. A couple products in their household will generate 100 points plus, depending on what products they're consuming. And then the next big goal is Prime Bonus 1. And I highly recommend we really, really start focusing on Prime Bonus level 1 with everybody, and everybody getting back to that Prime. If you're not qualifying for Prime right now, that should be your major target. If you're not active as a senior associate, you need 1 active left, 1 active right. So it's, again, going back to the basics. And from there, once you do that, obviously the people that you're going to be working with, your goal is to move them along with you. Okay, move them along with you. And the more people that you get doing their Prime 1 every month, remember, that's blocks of 600 points. So to reach the bronze level, you need 2,000 one side, 2,000 on the other. One side can be carryover with over 2,000 points, obviously. And the other one has to be active qualified that month in 2,000 points. Okay, so you can build this through customers. I know some of you have a lot of customers. I know Beth and Chuck, you guys have a lot of customers. So your personal volumes are quite high. And I know Erica, you as well, and others that I haven't looked at, but that adds up, right? Because that anything over 100 points on your personal volume goes to your pay leg. That extra volume goes to your pay leg to get paid on it.
So my
Okay.
Paul, I know you guys are not seeing our comment. If you don't mind sending that to me on WhatsApp, or Facebook Messenger, as a memory jogger, because here I'll forget. I didn't realize that on the French side it's in English, so we obviously have the French, so we'll fix that. That's what I mean. Where
Oh, yeah, right.
if you come across an issue, do let me know. We'll fix it, and that will be awesome. That way we work together, making sure that everything is up to speed. But again, folks, the second page that I'm going to jump into is just the details. But when you get someone started, you do not need to explain left side, right side, binary, none of that. Okay. You don't want to complicate people's lives. The simpler, the better. And when you see something like this, the 5 steps, it is 5 steps. I agree with Tammy that the fifth one is duplicate, but the point is duplicating is the most important step. Is you don't want to just do it and walk away, but you want to make sure that the people that are in the business are doing that. So this is obviously something you guys all know, but it's a refresher. We're starting to get into the building mold right now. We're not waiting for the wave to be above our head to start warming up the car. Well, that doesn't fit, but you know what I mean, right? You start moving ahead, you know, on before the momentum hits you, get ahead. So when the momentum is there, then it's going to propel you. And that's how you tend to get ahead financially in every aspect. Okay. So prepare for rain, as I often said in the past. Very important. So let's refresh our minds and our approach on how we build our max business. I know that I'm applying now, and I'm telling you that when things are flowing, we're going to be right there running 100 miles an hour to catch up. And I'm telling you, we will catch up. And moving on to the next slide, again, it's just a representation
Oh,
of
that's the old one.
illustration. So this is, we had the color version, so
Yeah.
we just need to update this. But that's my point, is these trainings don't really need to be updated because they're constants. But obviously these slides have updated since that was put in there with the colors, but that's just a representation where, okay, well, how do I get the step number 4, where how do we become bronze? Well, that is just exactly how to become bronze. That's really why this is here, right? But you don't need to send that to someone. Really, you want them to get their first 5 people. And that's what this is over here. You want them to sponsor their first 5 people. If everybody does that, by default, all of these things will happen, right? So that's a memory jogger over here, and so forth. So you guys know all of that. So that's something that is again, the role of a sponsor is to guide people. Don't just try to don't assume people will fend for themselves at the beginning. They will not. The reason why is because we've been raised in an environment, in a society, that we're told what to do, from birth to school to graduation to the job environment. It's always been. And entrepreneurs, that's where, in fact, network marketing breathe entrepreneurs and leaders, because you don't have a choice. But at the beginning, most people do not think that way. They feel that I need to be told what to do. And so that's the reason why I highly encourage to walk people through this, but don't get stuck in doing things for people for the rest of your lives. This is something that you do for the first month, the second month, maybe 3 months, but after that, they need to fend for themselves. But you're always there, you're always available. If there's a third-party credibility, as you know, we've been teaching that, which is a part of the business and part of the building strategy. Absolutely, I'm not denying this in any way, shape, or form. I'm talking and making sure that people know where to find their tools, where to get the things, install the app, go through the first steps that are on the app on onboarding. Extremely important. These are all the things. It doesn't matter what you do in life. If you give people an onboarding process, try to say that 3 times in a row, an onboarding process, and then from there, get them guided, get them started on the right path. Some will follow through, some will impress you like crazy, and some won't do it. It's okay. But you is to guide people, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and there's as I'm looking here at the first steps, when you go to the boards, you're going to see that there's a training there on reaching your core rank.
Mm-hmm.
So as you talk to your partners, and see if they want to reignite, see what their situation is right now. If they wanted to run with you and to have some fun. People like to have fun, right? And to be able to reach their core rank and set a target time with them and work a plan with them through the MAP, the Max Action Plan, and on the core rank. I'm telling you, you're going to get people that will want to run with you. So it's important to get back to your personals. And some of you I've already recently had conversations with. Just get back and see who's ready to do another run. And the ones that aren't, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. The next time you do a campaign or something, make sure that they're plugged in. It's all about action, 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 and letting people know, informing people on what's coming up. People need to know that not everybody looks at their emails. Not everybody goes into these groups and looks. So the key is not to make assumption that everybody's doing it, because I can tell you most people are not. So, and a lot of people need that interactive communication together to see where everybody stands. For those of you who are doing the accountability sessions, just show up at the ones you can. I know we do the 7 and 9:30, and show up at the ones you can show up in, and do your serious 30-minute session. And even if nobody shows up, it's okay. Like Linda says, sometimes it's good when nobody shows up, because then you have no choice. You're totally focused on doing it. It's so true. It's so true. So, but I'm encouraging more people get involved in it, because it really pushes you to work harder when you have other people on the Zoom that are also aiming for their goals. And it just makes it a lot more accountable, right? So and fun, because
yeah, and start now, folks. Not later, not tomorrow, not next week. Because I'm telling you, you'll never do it. Start right now. What I mean by start is go back on just to get back on the board, even before you go to bed. Just run the app and just go through the onboarding process. Just start there, just to give you a sense of, okay, I'm starting, right? Do this right now. Well, after the call or whatever, before you go to bed. It takes like less than 15 seconds. It's just to get into the motion of doing it. And again, if you come across, I know some of you have eagle eyes. If you come across anything, please do let me know. And one thing that you can do is, you don't have to send it to me privately. Use the Facebook Messenger group that we have and post it in there, so everybody's aware. It creates a great accountability for me. And at the same time, some of you could turn around and confirm other things that maybe you haven't seen. Okay. So that would be absolutely awesome. And at the end, folks, what's very important is to celebrate recognition and rewards. I'm telling you, it's going to start popping again very, very soon. And the moment someone in your team has reactivated 2-3 people or anything like that, or even yourself, feel free to post it into the Facebook Messenger group or even the Telegram group. It's too damn quiet. Just post what you've done, what you've accomplished, what's happening. It also could put some fire behind other people's butt to start moving forward. So we encourage you so we can celebrate you, so we can be aware of what's going on in your environment, in your ecosystem, and encourages others to also continue. And as we keep evolving and we keep moving forward, we're going to start. One thing I'm very adamant about is to start using the Worry Studio to have a max event. I'm very keen on that. And it's something I would love to see, where maybe, 300 people could fly in from different parts of the world and actually be there physically. And Vegas, everybody loves Vegas. It's not all that expensive if you really, you can negotiate where you want to sleep. And there's areas that are around, some places like $70 a night, $100 a night, or even, I'm talking US, of course. I mean, whatever the situation may be, that's my goal. And to have, some of our leaders and recognition and all of this done on stage. It'll be wonderful. It'll be an incredible day. That's my goal. But for that to happen, we need to start seeing some momentum again. We need to start seeing people sponsoring. We need to start seeing people moving up in pin ranks. We need you to go back into your checks and, having your income rise again. I mean, that's exciting, right? So we need to celebrate. That's really important. So what are your last words, Tammy, as we end this session?
Yeah, back to the basics. So we're ready to run with this. And Jonathan and Chris, we got a chance to connect with Chris as well. He's in the background, the brains that's doing a lot of stuff in the background, technical wise, fixing things. We brought a lot of stuff to his attention that needs to be fixed in our
Back office,
my
and
Max
all of these,
office, back office. So they're aware of all the challenges in that. And yeah, so we're going to let them do their job at their end, and our job as network marketers is to talk to people, share information with people as you connect with them, see if they're open to try the product. Some people are looking to earn extra income. So depending on where they want to go with it, you go with it.
Yeah.
So,
And I wanted to
yeah.
mention before I forget that next Monday,
that's
I know it's not necessarily, it's either Friday or Monday, but Easter Monday is we're gonna take this off for the next Monday. We're not gonna have a training on the Monday. So just keep that in mind. And I will be sending an email in that regard. So not the follow. I don't know the date. It's going to be in April. Obviously, it'll be the next call. Okay, so the following, well, the upcoming Monday of next week, the call is going to be rescheduled. Just want to give you guys a heads up on that. So at the end of the day, folks, is some great news, and I know that it's been a trying time. I know we've had some casualties. What I mean by that is some folks have decided to move on, and that's totally cool. But what's really interesting is people are calling back. They want to get back on the product. They want to reactivate their auto ship. They miss the Celgivity. They miss the Max One. They used to love the way they felt when they were on it. Now they've been off it for a while. And so that's why I'm saying to reach out to people. And that's kind of the message here also is reach out to your existing team members. And if they're not ready, that's okay. At least let them know that things are moving along so we can prepare for the wave that is coming. So, folks, listen, that's the end of our call today. And I want to thank you again for attending. Really appreciate you guys. And again, next Monday, the call is going to be rescheduled for the Easter weekend. And again, always appreciate your time and your presence here on the Monday night calls. So have yourself a great evening, folks. And we will see you 2 weeks from now.
See you on the accountability sessions.
Bye-bye.
Bye.